Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the previous lecture where I showed how you can actually install R, or if you have any problem installing R, then you can use the cloud version of R. That means you don't need to install, you can just sign up on Rstudio Cloud. I hope you all are ready for this one because I will be showing you how you can work on R environment as a calculating environment, and then I will also show you on the cloud on both. So let's download these two files, actually this first one, the RMD file. Download this one, and then after running this RMD file in R, I got this Word file. Try to run the program and then create the Word file. So let's download this one and then open it on our Rstudio window. So let's open Rstudio on the desktop. Also on the so you can say I open the Rstudio. Now I need to open the file I just downloaded, this one, this RMD file. To open it on our Rstudio window, we can go to our folder. So let's say I kept it on this folder. This is the most important part. You have to keep it on a folder. If you are working on the desktop version, then you can right click and say open with Rstudio, or you can go to file and then open file. From there you can open the RMD file. So let's say I am opening from open file, and then I kept it on a specific location. So I copied the location and then I located the R as a calculating environment. So now I opened it. If you have not seen the previous video, you need to prepare your Rstudio window for R Markdown. Also, if you are working on the cloud, all you need to do is to upload, because it's not connected with your desktop. You need to set upload and then browse on your directory where you have the file. So I need to choose file. Where is the file? So I know exactly where I kept it. Then I have to say open and say okay. Then you will see that it's on your files window. All you need to do is to click on it. Then you will see that it's actually showing up on your coded area. So on this area. Now you are ready to go. So that's the difference between the desktop version and online version. So let's say I said in here, this is the title of my documentation, and then I would like to create the Word file, or I can create the HTML file. That's fine. And then I would like to do some calculations. Before we start calculating, so let's go to our Canvas page. So on this page you will see that I gave you the lecture slides as well. So I'll follow this lecture slide and I'll follow the RMD file I gave you. These both of these are lined up. So calculation is similar to what we do using calculator, or let's say in Excel. So you can see for addition we use plus sign, for subtraction we use minus sign, and multiplication is the star, and then division, and then exponentiation, power of some values, and we can also use the parentheses. Sometimes we need to separate some values, then we can use those parentheses in functions. So when we run the program, then we actually on the left hand side of the less than or equals, we write the variable. So that means we are giving a name to some values. So let's say we have the storks, or let's say we have this. Okay, so let's say we are trying to understand in this coded chunk. So that means this is the coded chunk, and I showed you previously how I added that. So before I added a heading and I added a paragraph. So inside my program I added also a comment. So you can see I added hashtag. After hashtag I added a comment. So this is not a program, this is not a function. And I said that question mark mean, that means I'm asking what is mean. So that means I am asking for help. So it says that if you need to find the mean of some values, then you have to start with mean of those values. So I asked for help. And then I said that how about I use this sign, that means less than or equal sign. So before the less than equal sign I gave it a name. This is just a name, you can give any name. After the less than or equal sign I said that let's create some values, some sequential values. So let's see what we get. And then if I say X, that means it will actually give me the output, the printout in here. Printout is not actual hard copy of the hard copy printout. Printout is the output. So let's say what is X? I ask it. So it says that this is a series of values from 0, but then again we say 0 up to 10, also 50. That means it's actually combined from 0 to 10 and then 50. Or you can say now I would like to write other value, then you can also write other values, but you have to add the comma if you want to add other values. Then I said help me to find plot. Then you can run that program. So over here we actually added a variable name, and then we added some value by separating them by commas. Then I said that what is the storks I added. Let's run it. It says that the values are 2, 6, 3, 6, 2, 8. That means we actually created a column. Let's say in Excel I created a column. In one column I added these 6 values. Then I said that okay, how about we have other values. So you can run this program. Let's go to where we were. So it says that we are getting the output, and you could copy paste anything in Word in a simple text, and you can type this program in R, and then you can find the output. Also if you write ls and then the brackets, so what happens in there? So ls is providing you the list. So let's say I run these values as well. So you can see it added the variable names I added. In the variable all of them are numerical values, so that's why it says they are numerical. And then how many values are there? There are one row and 6 columns. So it says 1 row 6 columns, that many values we have. So if I say ls, small ls, and then bracket, it will give me the list. That means what I so far ran, or what I so far wrote in here and ran. So you can see baby strokes, and then X. That means those are the variables I created. So it gave me a list. Maybe in the exam I will ask you, if I want to find a list of the functions or list of the variables or the data set I run in this window, how I can find the list. Then you can say that ls and then this bracket. Okay. So the next one is that, So instead of running the program line by line, you can enter the commands into the separate file and call rscript. That means you can also separate them. So we can call any other program within R and then run the program, or you can open the program and run it in R. And so you will get separate windows that I showed you. So for exercises, all you need to do, open an R script. Also in that R script, we created actually let's show you what I meant. So in here, to add more code, we did not write it in here. So we said that what we would like to do, writing and saving codes. So we said we are going to add a new chunk. So in here, to add a new chunk, I went to insert and added a new chunk. So over here, I added variables. So that's what it says in here. So that means we are creating a new chunk and added these. So what these are going to give us. So let's see. So I added tree information. So I added DBH and I added height value. So if a tree has DBH 10.1, height is 14.2. That means I match wherever those values are. Let's run these two variables. So that means I created these two variables. Then I said that these two variables are separate right now. I want to join them. I want to create a data frame. So that means I need to add data.frame function. So using that function, I can create a data frame. Right now we have it separately, DBH and height. But if I want to create a frame, a data set, then you can see because of using data.frame, it added these two variables and then it saved it as tree data 2. So you can give it any name. So over here you can see it has 9 observation and 2 variables. So that means if I click on this data, so you can see DBH and height. So that means it's actually combine my 2 variables into a data set. Okay, let's close the data. Then I said that what are the variable names inside my tree data 2. If you find that your data is really big and you don't want to open it, sometimes it takes a long time, then you can use this function. Within the names function, I say that which data set I need. That means within the bracket, you have to say that what's the names of that data set. That means what are the variable names. So let's see what it's going to show me. So it says that inside tree data 2, this data set, we have 2 variables. The names are DBH and height. So let's say I would like to create a graph. To create a graph, all you need to do is at first you have to say plot. Plot is the function, and inside the plot function we have to say what is going on the x-axis and what is going on the y-axis. So that means I name the data, then I added the $, and then I said that you can use the symbol, the tilde symbol, or you can use the comma. Either way is fine. Then I say that in my x-axis give me height, in my y-axis give me DBH. It's really easy to write. So if you say plot, so you can see I plot. Then I say tree. See, if I write tree TRE, then it shows me what are the options. So we select tree data 2, and then $, that means within this tree that 2 data, which variable you want to select for the x-axis. So I said height, comma, again tree that 2, $, that means which variable I want to use. I said I want to use DBH. Then you can just select and run, so that you can see on your x-axis, on your y-axis. Those two variables are there. In Excel you created scatter plot. We also created scatter plots. That means the for height value, let's say less than 15, what would be the dbh value? So that's why we have the dots. So that's what we did in this part. So in R, we have to follow many rules. So in R, lower and upper cases, those you cannot mix. If you write dbh, you cannot say another way. That means you have to use the capital. If you use capital, if you mix match, you have to mix match. So let's say on my R file, if I say plot, or let's say I would like to print dbh, if I say small dbh, then if I ask it, let's say mean of dbh, so if I run that, then it says that mean of all the values in dbh is 13.04. But if I write mean of capital dbh, it says that I don't know what you wrote. And if I run the program, then it says that nothing is there, because we should be writing small d. So you can see it shows exactly where is the error, and then it actually writes the error if it can identify. So let's remove these two, remove that to clean up and save it. So I wrote this line twice. Let's remove it and save. Then we says that you will see many times we need to find where is the data. So I will show you the tricks later, so how we can use that. Sometimes you will see we are using the one slash, sometimes we are using the double slash. Also within our program, the hashtag I told you is used as a comments, but before the R chunk, these are actually telling me this is heading 2, this is heading 1. So depending on number of hashtag, I know exactly what is it. So let's go to saving workspace. So let's say what you actually ran, you want to save everything, saving the workspace. So to save the objects you created, and you can save this session as well, so you have to say save workspace to save all objects. So if you go there and file and then save, we already save it, save the save from here. When you will be leaving the program, so let's say I am leaving the program, then you can see it says that would you like to save workspace. If you say save, then you will see that all your input, output, everything, the data set, everything will be saved. And then you can go back. Let's say in here, if I want to save the history, so save, then you will see that it saved the R history. If you go back to that, and you will see that everything you ran, everything is saved. So let's say I open Rstudio. So what I was running in here, everything is saved. Okay. So you can also do some cleanup. Always it's a good idea to remove or anything you don't need in R. And you can go to the edit and clear the console, or you can say remove whatever you bring in, you can remove everything from there. So let's say edit, and then if you say clear all output or clear output or clear console, so you'll see that everything will be removed. So this is another important item. So you'll also see that types of objects in R. Also in this site I saw that they added all types of descriptions in there. You can take a look at this site. So in R we are going to use the vectors. In vectors we have columns and rows. So we could have in vectors, let's say in one vector we could have one column and then multiple rows. So let's but in matrix we would have many columns. So then we separate columns and then matrix follows the matrix rules. Maybe in higher algebra you saw a matrix and then you vector. So we will be sometimes using vector, but we don't use the matrix, but I'm letting you know how we can. I will show you how you can create matrices as well. And we also have class variable, that means categorical variable. For example, species or people's name, or let's say name of countries. So those are factors. That means we have categorical variables, so we use the factors for those. Sometimes we convert our numerical values to factors. That means let's say I have value 5, 6, 7. Those will convert it to factors. So we can also have data frames. I just showed you previously how we can create the data frame using the data.frame, and then it more like a matrix, but then again it has columns, it has rows, and it has variable names. List, we are not going to use list in this course, but then again list will provide you let's say for whenever we run any model, then you will see that we have a bunch of outputs, and then we have to extract information from those outputs. Okay, so in here we have a vector v1, and vector v1 has a value 1. Vector v2 has 3 values. So this is a single column. In the single column we added the vectors, and then I created more vectors. So you can see I added NA. NA is telling me that we have some missing values. That means it's not categorical, it's actually the value is missing. If I need to know the how many values we have in vector 1, I have to use the function length. Similarly, for other vectors I have to write the length of those vectors. Class, that means what type of data it is. So let's show you on the R file. So you can see I wrote the same in here. So I said that we have vector v1, v2, v3. Also we have missing values in v4. Let's run them. So those are listed in here. So you can also see that all of them are numerical. And then I said, what is the length of v1? If I run that line, it will tell me the length is 1. That means we only have one observation in there. What is the length of v2? So it's telling me that length of v2 is 3. And then I said, how about the class of v3? That is it numerical or categorical? Is it a factor? What is it? Is it a matrix or data frames? What is it? So v3, class of v3, it says that we have numerical values. If I create a factor, that means we have categorical information. So you can see I added just one value, and then I added two observation in here, and I said, what is the class of f2? Let's run them. Then it says that it is character, because they are not numerical value, they are categorical. So you will also see that in here. F2 is categorical character. And then I said, how about I convert, that means change the v3 vector. v3 was numerical, but I want to convert it to a factor. That means I added a variable name, then I said that as factor, use that function. In that function, so I said that how about I find the numerical value and then I'm converting it to a factor. So let's see whether we can do it, because previously you see v3 is numerical. Now I want to change it to categorical and then ask for f3. See, f3 in here is a factor. That means all our variable information converted to a categorical information. So you can see it converted to factor because they are no longer numerical values. So for creating matrix, we have to use this cbind function. So I created M1 matrix. In M1 matrix, I said that I want to add V2, V3, V4. What we have before V2, V3, V4, I want to add all of them. The most important item is that we should have the same number of observations. Each of them have 3 observations. So I need to add them using cbind function and create a matrix. So you can see if I only run the M1, so it says that it has V2, V3, V4, and it created a matrix. So what is the dimension? That means how many rows, how many columns we have. It says that 3 by 3. That means 3 rows, 3 columns. What is the class of M1? What is the matrix? That means it's telling me it's not a vector, it's not a data frame, it's actually matrix. Someone says that how about we create a data frame? So let's say I want to combine the matrix I created and what we have in F3. That means I want to create a data frame using the information I already have. So you can see df1 created a data set, includes v2, v3, v4 and f3. So that means all of them are combined, and then you can see NA in here because we don't have the observation. That means missing values are there. If I say what is the class of I need to say class of df1, class of df1, you can see it says that it's a data frame. It's not a matrix, it's not other data types, it's a data frame itself. So we created that. Then we talked about modeling. Let's say you don't need to know about modeling so far, I just wanted to show you. So if I want to create a model, let's say using the v2 variable, using the v3 variable, I want to predict v2. Then I said that I want to create a model using v3, but I would like to predict v2. And I have to use the lm function and create a model. So it takes some time to create that model, and then if you look for the output, then you will see that it shows you a bunch of output. That means all the parameters and then all the outputs are here, but then we need to call them. That means you have to go inside your output, call them one by one. So that's what I mentioned in this slide. So the last item we have is that I would like to summarize our data. I would like to find the mean value, percentiles, so all those. So I will talk more about those later, but then I would like to just simply summarize of our vectors. So let's say, let's clean up, and you can also clean up from here, or well, as I said, you can clean up from edit and then clear console, so everything is cleaned up, but it remembers everything. Always it's a good idea to save. So let's say I would like to summarize v4. If you're not sure, you can go to v4, or if you're not sure, you can say show me what is v4, and then run. v4 has 3 values and one of them is missing. So if I say give me a summary of v4, then it says that since it's numerical, so it has minimum value, it has maximum value, and then quartile. So within 25th quartile, within the 50th quartile, within the 75th quartile, what are the values we have. Also we have one missing value, so it gave me some information. It says that the mean of those values are 12. So you can see this is the output of my summary. So that means it's nicely summarized my data. If I want to summarize my df1, v2, v3, v4, and then you can see f3, we have all these in this data frame. If I want to summarize them, then I have to say summarize df1, summary df1. Then it's telling me that I have 4 variables, numerical variables, 3 numerical variables. One of them is categorical, and what are the minimum, maximum, and then mean value, and first quartile, median, and third quartile values for these variable. But then again, for the last variable, it's actually categorical because we converted the variable values to categories. So it says that the level 1 has the observed item 1. That means we only have, for level 1 we only have 1 observation, level 2 we have another observation, and level 3 we have only 1 observation. That means it's creating a frequency of these variable values. So we will be working on more on summarizing our data. So you can also ask, how about show me the string, that means the what is the v4. So it says that it's actually numerical and it has this many observation. More information about the object. So it says that, you know what, in df1 data frame, 3 observation, 4 variables, and then listed them just like what we have in here. So it's actually giving you the list, the output from here. So you can summarize, and then you can also look at inside the data. So that's it for today, and the last task I have for you, save it and then knit toward. Then you will see that it will create a Word file. You can change the layout. It will be saved in here. So that this is the most important part. You need to knit toward so that you can see your output. Same thing for who are working online. That means you can run them. You can see what are the outputs we are getting, and then say knit toward. So it will be asking you to download, and it will be listed in here. You can see it says that do you want to install this package? If it says install, yes, you need to install package. If it recommends you to install package, so you can see it's installing package. Sometimes we need to install again, and then you will see that it's installing. So after the installation is done, it's not going to ask you every time, it's just the first time. So you can say yes, download the file, and then you can download it wherever. Also it will be listed in here. Whenever you are providing us the RMD file, so you need to check it and then go to more, and then say export, and then download. If you download it, you will see that downloaded, and then you can upload on our Canvas page. Wherever you have the assignments page, you can just submit this to. So this is search for exercise and assignment, I'm just telling you. So everything will be listed in here. Okay, so that's it for the R as a calculating environment. Thank you.